Hey guys, what's up? It is me, Mila. Happy Thursday to everyone. I hope you guys are all having an amazing day. And as always, as I say in every video, I hope that you are having a blessed day. So I'm here to do my week 35 post-op lap band surgery check-in. For those of you that are new to my channel, thank you so much for subscribing along to my journey, to my lap band journey. Just a little background on me. I started my journey back October 14th, 2011 at 284 pounds after I saw that my highest weight was in the 290s. I believe it was 292. I joined the gym October 14th, 2011 at 284, and for a few months I worked out really hard, and on February 3rd, 2012 I was banded at 240.5 pounds. And so for the last 35 weeks I have been on a lap band journey. I have been sharing my journey here on YouTube since I think week 10, maybe a little earlier, but consistently since week 10. And so I'm here to do my week 35 check-in. If you were following along with me last week, last week I was talking about getting a fill, being at a proper restriction. It's kind of been a theme that I've been talking about since last week. So I'm here to do a little check-in and a little update to kind of tell you guys where I've been at with that fill, with my mindset, and with where I'm at almost a year into my journey. So with that said, as always, I'm going to apologize if I ramble. I don't know what I want to say. I've got lots of thoughts going on in my head. But anyway, so if you guys were with me last week, my focal point of my conversation or my video was talking about making sure that we were responsible with our fills and making sure that we weren't overfilling ourselves. If you guys have been following along with me, you know that I've been extremely frustrated with the lap band process because I can't seem to get adequate restriction, or if I get it, it's very short-lived. And so one of my last videos that I made, I was talking about how I was really ready for the lap band to start working for me. And I called my doctor. I had a conversation with my doctor, and I was able to go in, and I went from a 4.25 cc to a 5 cc. And so it was a big fill. Once you get higher in numbers, they really don't like to fill you, in such big increments. But my doctor gave me a 0.75 cc fill in my band. I have a 10 cc allergen lap band, and so I went up to 5 cc. So the last video I was talking about, I was telling everyone how too tight is not right. It's never been my goal to be overfilled, to PB, to throw up. I mean, whose goal is it? But I know that being a responsible lap bander is being at proper restriction, being able to eat and drink. And I remember telling you guys that I had pushed my September 26th appointment back by like 2 weeks, and because I was at a 5.0, and at that moment I was struggling as it was to get stuff in. Some days I was just right, some days I was too tight. Well, I'm here to say that immediately after I made my last video last Thursday, I realized that as I was talking and as I was sharing about too tight is not right and make sure you're not overfilled, I realized that I was struggling more than I wasn't struggling. And that was a very hard pill to swallow, because the video prior to that I was complaining, venting, ranting, and raving how I was so ready to be at restriction. And here I was at what I thought was restriction. The lap band, it's a finicky thing. It kind of does its own thing, and when we talk about that in the community a lot. But I was doing fine since my fill. I had gotten a fill. I was fine for a few days, and 7 days later my band decides to basically just shut me off. I walked around for maybe 2 days just like this. I was so tight, I could barely get down yogurt. Eating yogurt felt like it was just scraping my insides. And so immediately after I made the video, I realized that I'm sharing with my community about too tight not being right, that I was responsible enough to not go get another adjustment knowing that I was struggling with the current one. And I realized you're currently struggling with that fill. so I called the doctor and I said, I need to go in for an emergency unfill. I was feeling like I was choking on my own saliva. I felt like I was wearing a belt that was just being yanked super, super tight, and there was nothing that I could do. I kept trying to sleep it off, for like 2 days, and I thought, this is more than it just being a finicky band. So, long story short, I went in and I was very hesitant about getting an unfill, just because, again, you finally feel like you're reaching restriction. And then 2 seconds, because I have something beeping in the background. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm pretty sure I just lost my train of thought. So anyway, I struggled with that, because here I am finally reaching restriction, but is it restriction or is it being too tight? And so I am definitely somebody that keeps it real no matter what, the good, the bad, the ugly, and never the fake. And so there's no way that I could be on here saying too tight is not right, too tight is not right. I just want it to work and not realize that in myself. So again, I've never set out to be too tight, to not be able to eat or anything like that. So I went in, I was very hesitant. I told the doctor, can you only remove like a tenth? I don't know exactly what is. And he said, no, Mila, I need to remove at least 0.25. It's a Thursday. We're going into the weekend. He goes into surgeries on Fridays. And I'm not around on the weekend, and I cannot risk something happening to you. I won't do it. And so he took out 0.25 cc's, so it brought me back down to a 4.75, which was still 0.5 up from the previous fill. And immediately after, I felt relief. But it took days. It took days away from me. I was so sick. I was not able to work out. I was not able to anything. I was knocked off of my feet. I struggled with it mentally, emotionally, and physically. I just realized right now that I didn't give you guys my weight, but I'll get into that right now. I was grounding granola, to eat. It was so horrible, so horrible. And again, I'm here to say, too tight is not right. I don't care what anyone says. It's not right. It's not for me. That is not the type of journey that I want. But I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say that I struggled with it. I really, really did struggle with it. So it's taken me a few days to get back on track, because now that I'm at 4.75 cc's, I'm not restricted. And so 5.0 is too much. 4.75 is not enough. I had an appointment come this Monday, which was the original appointment that I had moved back. And I decided to push that appointment back for another 2 weeks. I have really struggled with the unfill. It's nothing that I'm ashamed about. If you have to get an unfill, you have to get an unfill. Your health comes first, guys. Don't ever hesitate about getting an unfill. But it does something to you, because the minute you get an unfill, you're like, what can I eat now? And so I've done a lot of, extra eating, kind of pushing my limits. I haven't been the best Lapbander this week. And so for lack of a better way to say it, the unfill just knocked me off of my ass. It really, really did. I'm already struggling with personal things. If you guys have been with me since the beginning of my journey, there's a lot that I talk about, and October represents a very, very difficult time in my life. I started my journey back October 14th, 2011, because a week prior, I found out, I found out that my ex was cheating on me today. So a year ago today. So getting an unfill, going through already emotional turmoil, it just opened a floodgate, and it just knocked me off of my ass. It really, really did. And so I've been struggling to get back. And so I'm just trying to tell myself that, you know what, for the last 8 months, however long I've been banded, 35 weeks, you haven't been at this restriction, and yet you have managed in almost a year's time to lose 110 pounds. The Lapband is a tool. You need to continue to tell yourself the Lapband is a tool. It is not, you cannot rely on it. So all of a sudden, now that you're getting closer to restriction, or you were at restriction, or you were too tight, don't rely on that being what's going to get you through the next 28 pounds that you need to lose. With that said, last week I checked in at 183.2 2. And as of this morning, I am 182.8. So I had a 4-ounce loss. So honestly, you guys, I'm just trying to get back into feeling better. I just, it wasn't even about weight loss this week. It really, really wasn't. It was just about feeling better and getting back to where I needed to be. So anyway, so yeah, so there has been quite a few of us in the community that have been going through unfills. It's like our bands all banded together and said, you know what? This is the week that we want to get an unfill. So it's not a bad thing. It really, really isn't. It did do something to me emotionally, though, because it was just, I kind of felt like I had my tail between my legs to go get an unfill, but I needed it. And I'm not going to stay so tight that I can't breathe. It's just not something that I want to do. I don't care. I will not work through that. I will not put up with it. It's just not something that I want to do. I'd rather not be banded. So anyway, so that is a long explanation to what has been going on. I had to get an emergency unfill, and I'm trying to get back on track after the emotionalness of it. And so again, I have not been the best Lapband patient. I have been emotionally eating, but I'm trying to get that under wraps. And so with that said, that is where I'm at. So for everyone else that has gotten an unfill, definitely know that I'm sharing your pain. One of my girls, one of my besties, Miss Cat, 11's a heavenly number, had to get an unfill because she was having difficulties with it. Quite a few other people in the community have been getting unfills. And so you have to listen to your body, guys. You have to listen to it. And too tight is not right. And I will repeat that until I'm blue in the face. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. So with that said, I will kind of leave it at that. Everything else, I kind of want to say everything else is fine, but everything's been circled around that. Emotional eating, dealing with the emotional stress of being unfilled, feeling sick. I'm getting my workouts in, but there was a few days that I physically could not get them in. And so I'm trying to get back on track. So other than that, that's pretty much it. Next week is going to be a big week for me. October 14th, 2011 is my anniversary to this life change. So October 14th, 2012 will be my 1-year anniversary that I started my journey. And so again, like I just mentioned, I'm dealing with the emotionalness of it. And as I've said before, I have all of the logic that I need. I am a better person today for everything that I've gone through. I'm in a better place. But in order to continue to move forward with that better place, I need to acknowledge that 1 year ago, my life was turned upside down. And in order to acknowledge it, you have to somewhat relive it. And so that's where I'm at. I want to say thank you so much to my girls, my accountability partners that have been there for me this week. Again, it was an emotional week. Thank you to my big sister, Miss Melanie, Sky Moon 1982, to my accountability partner, Tracy, to my girl, Kat, and to my girl, Charlene. Thank you guys so much for being here for me, for putting up with all my craziness and all my madness. To my subscribers, there's so much that you guys don't see. There's so much craziness that you guys don't see, but nonetheless, thank you guys so much for being a part of my journey. I appreciate it. I love you guys all. I hope that you guys are all doing well with your weight loss surgery journey or your weight loss journey, and we will all get through this. There's going to be some tough times. I know there's going to be a continuance of tough times ahead in front of me, but you know what? I'm 110 pounds down, and I have 28 pounds left to go. I will do this. I am not going to give up. Tracy, I promise you that I will not give up. I'm going to do this for me. I'm going to see it through. So with that said, I hope you guys are having a great week. Take care. God bless. I love you all.